This is Talk Business and Politics with Roby Brock.
Welcome back to the program. Joined now by Jamie Gates. He's the Executive Vice President with the Conway Development Corporation, which would be the economic development arm of the Conway Chamber of Commerce.
That's right, yeah.
All right, I get all that right, but you're getting a shorter title on this show right here.
Right.
Good to see you.
Yeah, absolutely.
We are starting a new series with Jamie called Data Points. We are going to be looking at data. It is his forte. It is his expertise, and you are great at pulling stuff out of the data and helping us make some sense of it. So looking forward to this on a continuing basis with you. Thank you for doing this. Tell me what you're hoping to accomplish with this new video cast and monthly commentary.
Yeah, you know, with the article, since this is the first one, we do set some expectations, and our hope is that we can take really interesting, usually publicly available data, put it out there in a way that drives conversation. And you know, we may make some conclusions, and then sometimes we may just, you know, drop a little data bomb and step back and see what people think about it.
All right. Well, let's begin. Let's talk about MSAs, Metropolitan Statistical Areas. For people who don't know, these are the units that people look at communities when they're looking to do economic development, basically, if I could simplify it right there. What should we know about Central Arkansas and Northwest Arkansas, the two biggest MSAs?
You know, you're right in that the MSA is more important than the city unit. So it really is Central Arkansas and Northwest Arkansas. I think there's two things. One is that they're more alike than a lot of native Arkansans think. When you step back from a national view, there's a lot of similarities there. Two, and you know, when you're in the business, sometimes you're blind to what people think, but that the Central Arkansas economy is still substantially larger than the Northwest Arkansas economy, and the same could be said for population. But economically, Northwest Arkansas will meet and eclipse Central Arkansas in about 15 years, and population-wise in about 22 years. We would have two identically sized MSAs.
So when you're talking about that they're a lot more similar than people think, what do you mean by that? Give me some examples. Give me some characteristics that they share in conjunction with each other.
You know, a surprise to me was when we looked at the GDP, the gross domestic product for a region to be a regional product, and then you break that to a per capita basis, they're within 1% of each other.
Oh, wow.
Almost identical in the national rankings. And from a population standpoint, you know, I just talked about how Central Arkansas was larger, but when you compare it to the other 381 MSAs, we're definitely still in the same league. You know, we're not a megapolitan, but we're also not Carson City, Nevada.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So a lot of MSAs, and I see this a lot in Central Arkansas, I see it a lot in Northwest Arkansas, they like to compare themselves to peers, sometimes regionally, sometimes aspirationally. Tell me how all that works in economic development terms.
Sure. You know, well, in economic development, I think anyone who's good at it loves places. And so you're always comparing, and there's in the article, you'll see there's a lot of ways to compare. So population size is first. That one kind of makes sense. But Youngstown, Ohio is about the same size population-wise as Northwest Arkansas. You're going to have very different experiences in those two places because Central Arkansas is rapidly growing, vibrant.
Northwest Arkansas, yeah. Right.
Northwest Arkansas is rapidly growing, vibrant. Youngstown, Ohio has seen better days and is in steep decline. So that's why we like to look at things about what's your rate of population growth as a second metric. Next, maybe how large is the economy? That's why some cities can feel larger than their population, or some MSAs feel larger. Midland, Texas, substantially smaller than Central Arkansas, but their economy is 50% larger. Yeah. And so when you're in Midland, the energy industry,
Gotcha.
And also has one of the highest per capita gross regional products, which is the last thing that I would look at. You can have two economies that are the same size, but one may be people dealing in finance and technology, and others may be dealing in, you know, migrant farming. And so those places are going to feel really different. Yeah. So when you find a peer, you look at all four, and then you kind of make your best guess.
Okay, so Arkansas, people forget we're just a little over 3 million in population. There are a lot of MSAs that are bigger than 3 million in population. How does Arkansas, if you were to pull them out as an MSA, how would they compare to who?
Right, so We use this analogy a lot at work and in some economic development circles. Arkansas is about the size of Tampa. And so, that's a little bit of a foolish exercise because Arkansas is obviously much larger in geography. But when you talk about economic firepower and ability and all those things, when you say something about, well, Arkansas needs X or Y, would that make sense for Tampa? And that may be miles of highway or, number of schools and colleges and those things. Economically, we're about like Cincinnati, probably.
Okay.
So,
who do we aspire to be like? Who does Central Arkansas, who does Northwest Arkansas aspire to be like?
Yeah, so, in the article, we hit on a lot of our peers, and that's fun and that is useful. You can learn from people exactly like you. When we benchmark places, we look for aspirational peers, people that are maybe a little further down their chosen path or deliberate path. I think an exciting one for Central Arkansas is Des Moines. Des Moines has
People would not normally think Des Moines, Iowa is who you'd want to aspire to be. Why would we want to aspire to be like Des Moines, Iowa?
Des Moines has a really vibrant and diverse economy. There's enough similarities to pivot off of where you have a lot of government there, just like Central Arkansas does. You have an agriculture influence, just like Central Arkansas does, and they're doing really well, just like we want to do. Mm-hmm. And so that's why you may be listening.
Entrepreneurial community in Des Moines that a lot of people underrate.
And a creative economy.
Yeah.
Des Moines has their own version of cool that they do really well, and they compete and win. For Northwest Arkansas, I think I chose kind of an aspirational peer that may be a little unconventional, but Santa Rosa, California. So wine country, really kind of equitable in population and economy right now, but they obviously do really well with tourism. There are some other influences that are similar, and I think they've been down that high-end tourism, outdoor, nature-oriented path for longer than Northwest Arkansas has. And so probably some really good lessons to learn as Northwest Arkansas seeks to diversify its economy away from its big three.
Northwest Arkansas has better bike trails, though, I'm going to bet, than Santa Rosa, California.
More exciting bike trails for sure.
So last question for you. What does all of this mean, this data that we're looking at here, what does that mean for economic development? Why is it important?
Well, economic development is 100% powered by data now. It's not relationships. It's not even, predominantly incentive oriented. The people who are making decisions about where to locate or expand their business, are completely data driven. And by the time you get to a site visit or a decision, you will be competing with places that are essentially identical to you from a demographic perspective. And so I think it benefits us to look at those places and to look at the places, like I said, a little further down their deliberate path, and ask how they got there, and then do some R&D, which is rip off and duplicate.
Not research and development. I like it. All right, he's Jamie Yates with the Conway Development Corporation, and we're going to be drilling into a lot of data points over the next couple of months. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. That's all for today's edition of Talk Business and Politics. I'm Roby Brock. We'll see you next time.
Each day, the promise of our nation begins again. Arkansas and America, moving forward. I help make that promise a reality. It's not for everyone, but people everywhere depend on us.
Oh, I love you too, sweetie.
Trucking delivers, or everything stops. And that's what drives me.
I did.
You'll find us at the end of a lot of long country roads, covering over 60% of the great state of Arkansas. Our 17 electric distribution cooperatives are working day and night to provide reliable, affordable power to over 500,000 homes, farms, and businesses, just like yours. The Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas, your local energy partners.